Hello, Sarah here. If I don't know you, I think I've met most of you, but maybe not all. Thank you for coming and joining me today for the first practical contemplative exercise that we'll be doing in a series following each one of my PowerPoint presentations. I'm joining you today from a very special place in my home, my meditation and prayer area where I write, where I study, where I prepare to talk with you. It overlooks my garden, and today it's a beautiful day, and the roses are beginning to bloom, and I hope when this is all over with, you can come over and I can share my garden with you. I'd like to see your garden as well, or maybe you're in an apartment, maybe you're with your parents right now, maybe you're in your home, maybe the beach. Wherever you are, I hope you're doing well. You've been on my mind. I've been praying for you and sending you love and peace. And I hope that you've been doing the same for us. Keith and I have actually been just fine. We had a little bout with bronchitis, but we're doing much better now. I want to start this morning with a reading from Scripture on fear, addressing fear and anxiety exactly, I think. And it's from 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 16 through 18. These will be familiar words, but I think they're particularly poignant right now during this season of our lives. So we do not lose heart, even though our outer nature is wasting away. Our inner nature is being renewed day by day. For this slight momentary affliction is preparing us for an eternal weight of glory beyond all measure. Because we look not at what can be seen, but at what cannot be seen. For what can be seen is temporary, but what cannot be seen is eternal. Love that. You may not have felt any fear, but we talked in the presentation about psychological death, and there are a lot of people whose lives have or will change dramatically as a result of the COVID-19 virus and this pandemic of fear. And so if you or anyone you know is experiencing a lot of anxiety right now, here's a little exercise that you can do that will start us off on the path of contemplative practice whenever you feel stressed. What we will do is either with our eyes open or closed. I say open because sometimes you're in the presence of another when you're feeling anxiety or stress, and you need to have your eyes open. Probably for most people, it's just a little bit more effective if you close your eyes. I'm going to keep mine open. And what we will do is first just remember that we're alive and in this moment. And I like to do this by taking my forefingers and my thumbs and just pressing them lightly together and maybe even rubbing them together and saying to myself, I am here. All is well. And so in that position, or with your hands placed on your lap or on your thighs, you'll begin to take an in-breath on 4 counts, fairly slowly. Hold for 4 counts, and then exhale for 4 counts, fairly slowly. And then we don't breathe for 4 seconds, and then we begin the process again. We'll do that 3 times and see how we feel. Ready? Take the in-breath. There. How was that? It always calms me down. And I've used this with some of my clients in spiritual companionship, and it seems to help them a lot. So you can use that whenever and wherever you are, or you can teach it to someone, even a child. The origins of this exercise have been attributed to many sources, but I like to think that the source is the one I've heard the most, which is from the desert fathers and mothers, Christian desert fathers and mothers of the 3rd and 4th century. These were mystics that went into the desert in Egypt and were visited by Christians who would make pilgrimage to them from all over the region, as far away as the Mediterranean area. And these wise souls who lived in seclusion in the desert were said to provide some of the seeds for the contemplative movement or the mystical movement in Christianity. And when we talk about the history, we'll talk about them more. But if you'll just try this exercise whenever you feel stressed, anxious, alone, and see if at the end of it, the presence of peace has revisited you. Ultimately, that presence of peace will be recognized as Christ. And when we visit Christ over and over each day, our lives become so much richer and fulfilling. So until I see you next time, have a beautiful day and enjoy the peace that is ever present, even when we can't see it.